Hi everyone, welcome to my sketchbook tour. This is a sketchbook from April to September of 2022 and just a short preview of what you can expect from this video. Just a few short snaps of what's coming. I hope you enjoy it and let me know which pages you like the most. I'm really interested to hear that. This sketchbook is a bit of a mess, but also a bit of a special one for me. Mainly because I had a massive art block somewhere in the middle of this. And it's messy because I started it going forwards from the front to back, and then I decided to go from the back, and it's all over the place, but it was kind of special for me. So without further ado, well, print isn't dead. I got this sticker from a... what's it called? Come on, brain. Brain is dead, print isn't dead. It was like a market where I was able to print a tote bag with the same design using screen printing, which was really amazing. This sticker is from the Danish architecture center, I think. It's like a museum, super cool interactive museum. Lots of architecture stuff, lots of space stuff. Let's dive in. Oh, camera shake. There you go, a little bit more stable. So yeah, I'm going to ignore these pages because they are the last pages. So I start with this. I think I was at a market, one of my first markets, and I was just doodling around. You can see I had the water with me, and I was just trying to just doodle random stuff. This was me designing some pins, clay pins, also at the market, just trying to fill the time creatively, not just sit around and do nothing when there were like quieter times. So yeah, market day. I'm also doing a lot of, or at least I used to do a lot of lettering, which I try and come back to all the time, but fail. So yeah, lettering, just some like I was trying to design stuff for social media. Didn't really use it in the end, but there they are. And this was a bit more recent. Can't remember when because I didn't write down the date. It was like an idea from someone about like if you run out of ideas of what to draw some stuff you bought recently. So I went on my Amazon and just literally looked at what creative stuff I bought recently. Maybe less creative is this. It's like the clothes, like you can go on a sweater and defluff it. And some cyanotype print stuff, lino cut, printer, ink. Yeah, lots of like creative stuff. And this is one of the last pages, so oops, spoilers. Let's go to the back. So some figure studies. At least I have a date here, so this is where I kind of started doing my sketchbooking again after a bit of a break. I really didn't enjoy drawing right then, so I was just trying to draw something, whatever it was. And these was Posca. These were done using Posca pencils, and I don't think they work not necessarily well in this sketchbook, on the sketchbook paper, so it's probably why I didn't really enjoy it. Some more figure studies. Again, you can see I was just not feeling it, but I was trying. Some more figure studies. I think I used line of action for these, so you can set your own. I think they call it a class or a classroom or something like that, where you decide, you just give it more control, and the line of action thing plays you some like a slideshow of images, and they start at like 5 seconds, I think, and they go up to longer studies. So it's really like a challenging thing, but it also pushes you to kind of be fast and capture the essence of the figure. Again, wasn't really enjoying it, like really not like feeling it. And then I tried to draw a dog, and I used to be really bad at drawing dogs. Actually, recently I drew some at a session, online session, and I loved them, but yeah, back then I just couldn't get their faces. Most of it. Like the worst thing was the face, but the whole of the dog was just a struggle for me. Here, kind of better, but yeah, not really getting the like the overall shapes of the dog. And some meerkats hugging. And like the thing about this is you might struggle with something for a long time, and you will struggle when you try something new. And then over time, even if you leave it and don't do it for a while, you'll notice that done by other people, you'll notice just in general like what shapes dogs come in, and you subconsciously learn, like you don't even realize, but you learn to draw it. It's really hard to describe it, but your brain picks it up even though you don't necessarily try to pick it up. And yeah, when I picked up, I've done some gouache paintings more recently of dogs, and I was like, oh, I like it, but they weren't that good, like with regards to how dogs look. And then I attended that Odd Orange drawing session, and I just absolutely loved it, and everything looked like a dog, or more or less like a dog. No, I'm not perfect, but I was quite happy with them. So it just goes to show that patience and time sometimes is all you need to improve your skills. A cat, parrot, I think that was a monkey, but not a very good one. Get more dogs and cats and frogs. Just some studies. So I think they might have come from Line of Action as well, or one of those websites, like of a similar kind. Again, not really feeling it, but I continued pushing through it. And then I drew some birds. And I know, you know how I mentioned that I had a breakthrough, and that's not the breakthrough I was even thinking about, but that was a definite breakthrough. Like, from how uninspired I was here, and you know, with the cats and all the other animals, I started drawing these birds, and I just started enjoying drawing the birds. And I was like playing with colors and like drawing on top of it, like everything on top of other things. And I just loved that feel, like more of a free, carefree kind of page. So yeah, this was kind of like a really nice thing to do. Like, I love this page because of it, because it gave me a bit more confidence, especially as I wanted to draw birds for a very long time and I just never managed to. And these are like, you know, they're not perfectly looking birds, but I like them for that reason. It's all about progress. And then there will be a few pages of flowers. So these ones were like, I would call it like a warm-up, because I think I did all of these flowers more or less like in 1 or 2 sessions, and I was trying to be a bit more loose. And this page, like, I was still a bit, you know, just warming up, and I was using lots of like references from Pinterest, just trying to like mix it up a bit and like make up my own flowers, but more or less they're all inspired by Pinterest photos. And yeah, I think you will see from like the following pages that I slowly became more and more loose. Like, not necessarily with this one, but I kind of like the look of this, because I don't know, I just like that I didn't feel the entire white of the page, and that's a sign usually for me that I'm loose. Like, I don't care so much about details and like feeling every tiny space on the page. So yeah, I'm just getting there, I think. Actually, I have dates on them, so we'll see how many days I was drawing them for. But yeah, this page I was already like liking the experience, and I think my hand hurt a bit from drawing them, but I think it was worth it. Like, this is very loose, like there's not so many lines everywhere, not everything's connected. It's just more of a showing the feel of the flower, like not necessarily showing every single line that shows on the photo of that flower. And here, even though I like with this flower, even though it's not perfect, I remember really enjoying drawing this. And that's this entire page, like, it's just so free. And like the composition isn't great, but who cares? Like, it's my sketchbook. It gave me a lot of joy in the end, so it was worth it. And I think here I was just getting a bit tired, but I just like how many flowers I managed to draw. Hey, more birds. Seagulls and a few other varieties of birds. Just really like look at this guy. It's a bit more stylized, and like even this one is a bit more stylized. But I like the shouting seagulls. Oh my god, there's so many photos on Instagram for these. They're just like, they're scary, but also like kind of comical by themselves, even if you try to draw them like realistically. And here I was like, I got a bit nostalgic. I was thinking about like what birds I remember from my childhood, and especially swallows. They used to fly around, and yeah, I remember just like seeing them everywhere, every day. Then we had lots of like great tits, which is, I didn't realize that that was the name of the bird, but they're just like really nice, small, tiny birds. They're quite cute. And then stork is like kind of a national bird of Poland, because they used to be like everywhere, and they used to signify the start of the spring. So yeah, they would sit like, they would make their nests on like on top of a house. I think maybe chimneys, I'm not 100% sure, but like somewhere high up. They're quite tall birds and quite like pretty. And we have warblers, which there were lots of, and they're really cute. They're kind of like the robin equivalent. And then we have kestrels. One scary time I had was when my cat, we used to live on the 10th floor, so you can imagine that that was quite high. And on the balcony he managed to catch a kestrel, and I could not believe it. Like, it was flapping its wings. He brought it to the kitchen, and my dad had to save it, but it was scary because it was pretty wild. Like, you can imagine, like, a kestrel is not a small bird. It might have been a young one or something, but it made them a lot of like racket. Then pigeons, I didn't used to like them, but I grown to like them just from the point of view of like what's it called, illustrations. They're just the best birds to illustrate. And yeah, trying with dogs. And then I was trying to do what's it called, a lino cut of a swallow, and because it's a lino cut I had to carve it backwards. I'm quite good at writing backwards, but I wanted to make sure I didn't make any mistakes. Like the special O and the L are really easy to get wrong if you do them backwards, and then once you've carved it, it's a bit late. I'm going to search for my cards. Okay, I found them, and I said cards, they're prints. That's the kestrel design. And I tried to do it in a few different ways. So I tried to do it with text because I like lettering. So this one's swallow, which was, I don't know if you can see it, but like I had to write it this backwards to get it to print this way, because that's how lino cut, it's like a print. So it's mirror, you have to mirror it first to print. I'm not making sense, but I hope you get what I mean. Then we have one in Polish, just a few different prints. And I just because they're next to each other, I found a few storks. Yeah, I still haven't put them up in my shop. Sometimes it's overwhelming because I want to make everything and I just don't get to doing everything. So yeah, that's them. Let's carry on. Sorry if you can hear my boiler. It's probably a bit annoying if you can hear it. Hopefully it's not too bad. Some more flowers. Nothing special, but quite fun. I mean, I don't even know what this means or what it says, but clearly I was being inspired by it. No idea, like I was just playing. That's what sketchbooks are for. This one I drew in Winchester. I just took a day trip. This is from a park. Again, I could not draw, but this was like my first planner really drawing that I remember. Someone drew me this. It must have been my boyfriend. I had not seen this smiley face before. How cute is that? Anyway, wholesome moment. So yeah, I was just trying my hand at drawing people that, you know, it's quite stressful to draw someone when they can see you. And like this lady selling ice cream was really far from me, but still kind of feel more self-conscious. And then I drew this from a walk. It's like a river walk, and lots of like bushes and trees and houses, which I thought was really pretty. So yeah, I think if I used 2 colors it would have turned out a bit nicer, but I was quite happy with how this turned out at the time. More park drawing of people, and I think I hated this page, and that's why I didn't even fill it in fully, because I did not like it. That mouth came out very funny. And then we what's it called? I went to a urban sketcher session in a park, and I took too many supplies, so because of that I kind of tried to use them all, which was kind of fun because it worked in the end. But yeah, these are some, I think it's like, I can't remember these flower names, but it was quite a fun study. And these are forget-me-nots in pink, because why not? More studies of the same flowers, just with trying different mediums. I just couldn't decide what I wanted to use, and experimenting was just like really fun. Like, I know this is really wonky, but I loved it. Like, all of them were just so fun to draw. And I literally drew it with like this. So it wasn't, probably like this is a bit easier, but not the nicest way to draw, but who cares? Like, I managed to draw this. A bit more drawings from there, like someone was drawing like proper plein air setup with a proper plein air setup. Some pampas grass, I think. I don't know what this was. Holly, maybe? And then I drew this rhododendron bush at the end. And I remember really being proud of it and wanting to turn it into a postcard, which I haven't yet. I just don't know if it goes with anything else in my like Etsy shop. But I just really enjoyed. And I think even though like urban sketchers sketch on location, I think I've only done like the outlines and maybe a bit of color, and I finished it at home. And I used a pentel brush pen to draw the lines. Focus here. So yeah, this was like my highlight of the sketchbook so far, apart maybe from the birds, because the birds were a bit of a different thing, right? Yeah. Again, trying some colored pencils. Didn't really like this, and I still don't really love it, but it's, you know, like I said a million times, it's just a sketchbook and it was progress. This page I was already going down the hole, like not feeling the drawings again. And I was like trying and absolutely love this bird. Like, there's something about these colors that just is catching my eye every time I look at it. And yeah, more seagulls like on top of each other, just, I don't know, just fun page. Another one of those, more studies. Just super fun. Look at this bird screaming, so fun. Unfortunately my camera autofocuses when I don't want it to, and other way around, so I have to like shake it. I have to like focus it, but that shakes the tripod a bit. Some studies of cats, and back then I could maybe draw like a what's it called? A stylized face of a cat, but I could not for my life draw a body, so I was just like, okay, how do I break it down into shapes? And just try to kind of study lots of cats. How did it turn out? I don't think I did that many, as many as I should. Like, you probably have to draw hundreds until you like become really good at it. But I've done a few, and I was trying to like learn how to do the paws. They're not necessarily how a cat paw looks, but you know, I was practicing. And a few more studies of cat paws. Love this one. Really like that cut. It was probably inspired by someone else's work, so I never used it in anything. Then a few more drawings, and I was trying to stylize these seagulls more and more. I think this turned out to be a greetings card. This turned out to be my logo, like lino cut, and I also printed these ducks or ducklings, but I don't really have that to hand. I will show you the skirt because I think that turned out a bit cute. So that's what it was inspired by, I believe. I did it as part. I don't know what I did it as part of, but I think that's a similar kind of flower. You know, it's just the opposite way, but like more or less the same. And as part of the same series, I did these two flowers, a kind of similar vein. And just because I showed this bird before, this seagull, I also did this one as a card. Really cute tiny cards. Okay, let's carry on because there's very few pages left. And more seagulls in the same way, trying to draw a few more people, and like I struggle with clothing, so yeah, definitely on my list still. But I was trying to do a bit more clothing. What happened to this person? She's gone really thin suddenly. I'm just going to see if there's any personal stuff in here, because I sometimes do that. I use like a page in between now. Okay. So, this is the page. I was really struggling, and I was trying out different materials. I think I've just come back with these pastel pencils, Carbofello from, I bought them in Copenhagen on my trip, and a Sennelier, the only one I got. It was really like much more expensive, and a guy at the shop, because we talked a bit about like art supplies, he was like, "Are you sure you want to buy this? It's not what you said you were looking for." And I was like, "Yes, I want to try it. I love this color." And some Caran d'Ache Neo colors. So yeah, you can see like the pastels are not really made for this page, and I almost threw them away, but thankfully I kept them. And I'm glad because I used them on top of gouache and they're amazing. And in fact, I did some swatching already of these on gouache, so you can probably already watch that on my channel. I believe it will be out first. But yeah, you can see like these gusting pencils. Ugh, it makes me, this sound makes me cringe. It was just like, I was so unhappy with this page and with my art at that time. And I think my boyfriend was trying to cheer me up or something. But yeah, not great. And here I was, this is like a page for, was it a Domestica course, I think? Yeah, it was a Domestica course. It was about like showing up for your art every day and drawing stuff. So yeah, I was supposed to track it, but I tend to forget, so I stopped after a while. Here I was just like, just doodling random stuff, not really having fun, or trying. Like with this one I had fun, because it's like a nice cool pen, which I probably have here, or not. Oh yeah, it's one of the Krink pens. It's quite rare in the UK. I think I got it from German company, and they tend to clog up, or maybe they run out of paint very quickly, so it didn't last very long, but it's really fun. It doesn't really paint very well, like it scratches the surface, but it's still worth it. Bit expensive though if it runs out quick. Okay, and that's, I don't know, I kept doing this just for convenience, like for how comfortable it was to draw on each side. So this was one of those things where in that course we were meant to draw something from life, like go out and draw from life, and it was winter I think at the time, or it was getting really cold and, you know, not great to go out, and I was really uninspired. So I put something on YouTube, and it was like this cafe from the point of view of the baristas, and it was just like a video of what happened there. So like these are a few of their customers. Kind of liked how this guy turned out. It was quite a quick one as well, so I didn't put too much effort into it. But yeah, I was just trying to get out of this. But this is the page that made me try that, like, because I was like, I'm not inspired, I'm not going to draw, and then I was like, I'm going to draw swatches. Like, I'll just test out some materials, and by doing that I got inspired to do this course. And this is another one from the cafe, just like, not great drawings, but I was quite happy with this. Yeah, not great. I'm not very good at drawing from observation yet, but it was quite a challenge, but also quite fun. And then I put this video on where a guy is on the beach, and it's still daytime, it's quite bright. People are there are not that many people around, and he starts playing an instrument. I can't remember which one he started with, but as time goes on, he plays more and more different instruments, and towards like the end, he keeps playing. Like, he has, is it a saxophone, like these keys, like a guitar, this electronic thing that I forgot what it's called. Sequencer, maybe? No, it makes sounds, I think. And it was just such a great opportunity to study hands, even though they were like scary, really scary for me. Trying not to swear here, just in case I shouldn't. So yeah, he was just going nuts. He was just playing so many different things, and the music was so relaxing, and it was just really fun to watch it. And then one of the other challenges for this course was to draw my surroundings. So I tried, and I'm quite happy. It's just not really my usual style, and I got a bit upset because I decided to add fluorescent color, and it just didn't work. But overall, I'm quite happy with how much detail I managed to put in. I like the wonkiness of the table and this rug, and yeah, it's just. And I drew a floor I want to have, because we currently don't have that. Like, we don't have a wooden floor. And then I was trying to draw people in, like, I didn't want to go out and draw people. So I thought, to ease into it, I will watch more of YouTube videos. It was like a shopping mall, kind of people walking past. Really hard to catch people, like, really walking past, unless they stop for a bit. So yeah, just having fun with that. This was a challenge. I just did not do very well with this, but I didn't give up. Carried on drawing. You know, for every few really rubbish ones, I will always have a few that I absolutely like. Like, for drawing clothes, for someone who was really overwhelmed by drawing clothes, this turned out quite good. It looks like a human shape. And I did it again and again. So yeah. And then this one, also not great, but trying. And a bit more of room studies, trying to draw a printer, trying to draw hands that are realistic, maybe a bit too big. You can see how unhappy I was. Trying to draw some chairs and plants. Kind of like this one. And then I got really inspired to draw these pots, or coffee pots, and like, yeah, all of that. Words escape me in English. So yeah, that was quite fun. I tried to pick, I think it was a challenge in the course as well, to try and pick like the right colors, or like the clashing colors or something. I can't remember, but I remember like quite liking these. And then they kind of, I could see them on the other side, so I redrew them kind of in a more wonky style, just to see what they would look like. And then I was a bit uninspired, maybe. Let me see if I need to take anything out. Yeah, I'll be back. Okay, so I think I've taken out all the personal information stuff that I had in here. I just, like, sometimes you have to put a piece of paper in between the two pages, because look, all of this would have led to this page from what's on the following page. Yeah, this came from a book, 365 Days of Drawing. And it was one of the challenges. I didn't really do much in this book, but it was one of the pages in it. I'm just trying to find it. There you go. No, it's not the one, but it inspired me, like, it was, pretty sure it was this one. It just inspired me to draw more birds. And I was like, huh. I basically have a character that I want to do something with. Like, gone a bit far with the jokes, but I loved it. And then I started thinking of, because it was after my travel, solo travel back from Copenhagen, I really struggled with that plane journey, and you know, I had to walk 15 or 20 minutes to the train station, couldn't find the right entrance, and then had to run, obviously in Denmark, so different language, had to ask someone to point me to the right entrance, I think, or something, and then had to go to the airport, and at the airport I had way too much time. I stood in the longest queue in my life for just coffee and like a bun, literally over an hour standing in the queue by myself, couldn't go to the loo because I was there by myself, and yeah, it just wasn't fun. And then I had to go to London and go on 2 different tubes, and then wait on Waterloo station, and then take a train home, and then I think an Uber or something, or maybe my boyfriend drove me. And that day I crossed travel out of my life for quite a while, so I hated it so much. Travel is great, but solo travel can be hard. So I drew these characters, sorry for the rambling, but this is what inspired my comic book, so, you know, just out of some random doodles. Okay, I had to take a really short break, so I'm back. Yeah, so I think I was saying stuff about the comic book inspiration and just like another page of birds. I just love them so much. And some random things. And some random faces that I came up with. And these were more kind of studies of people on Pinterest. Again, a few more studies, just trying to kind of test out how to use different marks and what effects they give. A page of my own, Sailor Moon. Could not do it. This was the time when I was doing a different course where I come up with faces, so by doing this kind of random, you assign the lines to a random spots on a sphere or some kind of shape, and then you add faces to them, so it's all very random and you kind of come up with characters. And again, with this exercise I came up with a few of my characters, some of the moods that you can draw, and like what the face looks like when, like in a very simplified way, when people experience emotions. This is from Artchiu's Discord drawing sessions, and actually this is from one of the chats. Someone posted a cardboard cat and I just loved it, like it's incredible on the photo. And Gerald from Rivia, what's the name? It's escaping me. The Witcher. One of the prompts in this drawing session. Trying different exaggerated emotions again. Just a few studies. I think this was a set of charcoal pencils I got from Flying Tiger ages ago and I never used. And I was just trying out like what can be achieved with them. The answer is probably a lot, but I still haven't worked it out. Trying to draw plants. Don't really enjoy this. I like this plant. It's also one of my favorite plants. I got this plant from my gran, and it traveled from Poland in like a suitcase, and it survived such a long time, and it's grown a lot, and it's so easy to propagate it. Some flowers, a bit more loose now, so I quite like this one. This was studying, I don't remember what the original was. It was some kind of either a photo or a painting, but it was studying Monet, or how I would say it originally, Monet. So I don't know, one of those is probably correct. I'm just trying to use his style of like mark making, but using pencils. This is like a tiny bird in someone's hands with a flower, a bit sad. A few other references from Artchiu's Discord. They post daily prompts. So there's at least 2 daily prompts every day, one for everyone and one for Patreon supporters. Really like how this page turned out. Like there's just something about it that lacked in a lot of pages in the sketchbook. Some more studies. That's from references, I meant to say. A few more faces, random faces again. And here I was studying all kinds of pipes and robots and that kind of thing for a comic I'm working on. This comic will be work in progress for a very long time, but it's super fun to work on it. We just catch up we usually catch up every week for games. We just play games online. From time to time we catch up to talk about this comic. And a few more drawings from reference photos. This one was from StudioTeaBreak. They post references on Twitter. That one I think was from Artchiu's Discord. Some color names. I'm really bad with these, so since then I made a nice swatch book, or like a list of colors and then tiny swatches next to them, so when I go shopping I can quickly see what I've already got. This might have been like a Sketchbook Revival or something like that, one of those sessions where you get free sessions every day, and yeah, that's one of those. I can't remember. Sketchbook Revival, I think. Can't remember now, but anyway. Some robots that I copied from Pinterest. I was just trying to this was my idea, but I was just trying to learn how to draw with robots, and again I should have done a few more studies, not just those. And some more robots. That's a guy from Adventure Time, isn't it? I forgot his name now. And a few more like robot arms and ships. So that's it. I have to say this sketchbook was very important to me, and still is, because of how much it carries, how many ups and downs it carries. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed looking at this, and you know, if you have moments in your art journey where you really struggle, that you don't give up, you keep on keeping on, basically, and it will come back to you. As you could see from this, there's not that many pages even. 72 sheets, 144 pages. This is a journey and a half, isn't it? There were ups and downs, and things will keep changing. Your inspiration will keep coming and going. That's just a part of being artistic. You cannot be inspired 100% of the time. And when you're not, you can either push through it like I did, or sometimes what works much better is to leave it for a few days and come back to it. Because when you let go, you often find you come back to it with a fresh mind, a fresh inspiration, you know, like you need to create. When you need to create, you come back to it with just a lot of pressure, not pressure, but like joy for creation. But also, I find I had an art block, another art block after all of these earlier this year, or like end of December, and earlier this year, and after it passed, I just reached a new level in my skills. So, you know, if you don't give up, it will come back to you. And oftentimes when you take a break, it's like your brain kind of processes all the skills that you've learned or you've observed, and suddenly, like, it kind of needs time to process them all, maybe. Or maybe you're just busy with life and your brain just doesn't have the space to enjoy what you're making. And when you come back, it's such a joy. So if you're in an art block, or will be in the future, try to remember the fact that it won't last forever, and it might be the break that you just need creatively, and it will come back and you'll love it again. I'm going to end it here because I started rambling. I think I can't put my thoughts in order well enough right now. But I hope it made sense. I tend to post a couple videos a week. That's until I run out of, I guess, inspiration for them, because YouTube is very new to me and I want to do more than one a week. If you like this kind of, you know, if you like looking through a sketchbook, maybe looking at some swatch videos like of pencils or paints, or seeing me try new mediums, or, you know, sharing a few tips. What else do I post? Like unboxing some art materials, trying out new art materials and stuff like that. Then please subscribe to my channel. The link should come up in a minute. And if you like this video, please hit a thumbs up icon to show me that you liked it. And if you have any questions or comments, you can comment.